Thank you. So Cambay is a Microsoft managed partner that has expertise in CRM collaboration. We're a 3 cloud partner. And what that means is that we have deep technical expertise in Azure, Dynamics, and M365. We also are able to service an IoT or from our engineering group. So you could see on the slide today that some of the solutions that we provide under the different silos, like migration of SQL servers or Yammer for collaboration, those types of things. Go ahead, Akil.
Thank you, Dave. Thanks for that introduction.
So just one last piece, Akil. Being a Microsoft managed partner, Cambay focuses on some of the things to make things easier. We've developed our own IP in the different clouds. And as you can see, under Azure, we can do app modernization assessments or automation for teams or a BI modernization assessment. These are just some of the things that Cambay under the Microsoft ecosystem have developed and have technical deep expertise. But enough of Cambay. Today we are here to talk about Microsoft Viva, and I want to turn this over to Akil. Akil, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, thanks, Dave. My name is Akil Haider. I'm the VP of Technology for Cambay Consulting. Been in the industry for roughly 20 plus years, known speaker, people been around the blog, MCT, MCM. Glad that everybody could make it here today. And I'm just going to introduce the agenda for today's discussion. We're going to try to wrap this up in maybe about 30 to 35 minutes and then open it up for questions. We really want this to be an interactive session. So if during the presentation today, if you have any questions, please type them in the chat. I have a moderator who is going to put those questions back towards us towards the end of the discussion. As and when they come in, we will respond to them in that sequence. So first in, first out. Let's begin our discussion around Microsoft Viva and all the great things. But before we get there, what was the business reason and what was the need to actually come up with Microsoft Viva, and what value add does it bring to an entire organization? It's very important to understand that. And so the entire focus of the platform in general is towards having a positive employee experience. And basically, a positive employee experience focuses on helping organizations in such a manner that the end users who are participating as employees in that organization are engaged. It's especially challenging with the COVID situation. As COVID took over our world last year, it became difficult for people to remain connected, and so the idea bore out of that we need to make sure that people are inspired, especially people who are leaders within the organization, and that the employees remain engaged in this remote world that we're working together. So we should have an environment that fosters growth. We should have a availability of company resources. Employee well-being and insights are tracked. You can connect with different communities, and you can certainly have a knowledge management and document management system available to you. It's very important that all these resources come together in a singular experience. The problem in the previous days, in the olden days of SharePoint and all the other Microsoft technologies, was that there was a lot of context switching, and was a lot of different technologies that had evolved over a period of time for various reasons, for different use cases, for different solutions. And as the technology evolved, as the platform evolved, the idea was to bring everything together under what we call the positive employee experience. The experience was all about it, trying to keep the employee happy. And that's where the idea of Viva actually came up with. The reason I'm setting the context is that it's important to understand where it came from and what it's going to actually deliver to you. So once we have defined that what an employee experience is, Microsoft Viva, everybody asks me, what is it? Can somebody explain to me what Viva is? Viva is an employee experience platform. It's not one thing or the other. It isn't intended to be just for one use case or the other. It's an entire communication, knowledge management, e-learning, and resource availability into a singular platform. It fully integrates with Microsoft Teams as your platform, and therefore it is a singular view into all these different technologies. And we'll get into a lot of detailed discussions around specific components of Microsoft Viva. But at a very high level, it's an employee experience platform. It has 4 different components: Viva Connections, Viva Insights, Viva Topics, and Viva Learning. These are specific modules or components, if you want to think about it. And I'm going to cover each one of them as in today's presentation, and we're going to see a brief demo from my coworker Vikram, who's going to help us with the demo component. But I'm going to, before we go into all of that, let's have a quick poll of the audience. So Hill, if you don't mind launching the first poll at this point, please, that we had for the audience. Thank you.
I wish I would have been there for people to kick me for the first time, you know.
If the audience doesn't mind muting themselves, I don't know why there's certain.
Anytime, anything, pregnancy related, happen, use it. I'll be there. Okay, I don't care if it's recording and I'll
This is the latest study that we got from Gartner, where it says that employees are 12x likely less to leave their companies than those who are not. Organizations will also have much more productivity and engagement from employees. So it makes sense to have an overall productive, employee engaged workforce available to you. Let's quickly talk about the Microsoft Viva ecosystem before we start, and it's good to understand our data dictionary before we start talking about different things. Of course, Microsoft 365 people will be familiar with. The content providers are the Microsoft e-learning or not other LMS systems out there. There are well-being systems in the cloud that are available. There's HR and learning, and many more are coming down the pathway with digital workflows, communications, and CRM systems available today. The reason I'm bringing up this ecosystem is that the entire experience platform allows you to build connectivity into these third-party systems and deliver them through a singular workforce viewpoint, sorry, into Viva. So let's get into this first one, which is Viva Connections. Let's be very clear on what Viva Connections is and what it isn't. It is not going to replace your existing intranet. It is not going to replace an existing SharePoint online intranet that you might have built within your organization. It is an app that actually delivers that intranet through Microsoft Teams to the end user so that they don't have to context switch. It also consumes information from multiple sources, and it actually delivers a gateway of the information that is there for you within your organization to deliver that information from a singular place, which is the Microsoft Teams experience. So as I mentioned, the employee experience, it's all about delivering that and making sure that the curated information that the employee is going to get the information that they need to be able to do their jobs is available. It's not going to replace the existing SharePoint online intranet that you would have built. You still need to do a very strong information architecture. You still need to do a very strong metadata design. You still need to have a global navigation system, and it basically builds connections into existing M365 capabilities like SharePoint and Yammer and presents all of that in a singular layer inside the Microsoft Teams experience. And we'll show you how this all comes together as part of the demo today. But I just wanted to share that with you. Let's actually go right into it. Vikram, can you please take over the screen and just show them our internal deployment of this in the demo client, please?
Yeah, sure. I would do that. Just wait just a minute. Are you able to see now?
Absolutely.
Okay. So in the screen, what you are seeing just now is our SharePoint site. It's a communication site, which is rendered on top of Microsoft Teams. So basically it helps the remote work styles to basically without any switching, you are able to see all the content, all your important work in the Teams. Okay, so this
Correct.
particular site is having all those uh, menu bars, and technically to activate it, this site has to be a home site with curated global navigation enabled on it. So this is curated global navigation, which is very much customizable according to the needs and personas also in the organization. And we can very well also enable the audience targeting. So what you see is a modern SharePoint site rendered on top of Teams, which shows your any new announcements or things happening at the company, shows what are my coming or upcoming events. So you will see that event which is happening today is displayed here. And if I toggle down, it has company feed, which is very much customizable, and it's dynamic. And you can also basically point out which sites you can basically able to configure that feed according to the user personas in the organization. You have your regular documents which you are working also displayed, and it will also show the upcoming events. Like today, we are having a webinar on Microsoft Viva. Similarly, on August, a Dynamics 365 sales webinar is to happen. So it shows all the things with the uh, global navigation, and I will show you some things like it is fully customizable, and all the links we can click and see the further informations.
So 2 points that I'd like to add here, as Vikram has said, you can see that this content is being delivered to you through the UI of the Microsoft Teams. The user never has to context switch. As and when things are getting updated, he or she can connect to Teams, and Teams will deliver this content to them as long as they're authenticated into Teams with their correct account. They can get to the relevant information, they can get to their news feed, they can get to their recent documents, they can follow the news, all those components that I had talked about when it comes to having a unified experience. The other thing I'd also like to add here is that the ability for the users to be able to dynamically share information and being able to promote results and deliver targeted audiences of content. All those features which are available from SharePoint Online are fully integrated here. The last but not least piece of this is the ability for multiple sources of information to be delivered in the same spot. So in the old days, you would have a Yammer feed, you would have a SharePoint Online feed, you'd have an MS Teams feed. All of those can be brought together into a singular location. Anyways, that's a great start for us. I'll take over and go on to the next part of our discussion, which is going to be on Microsoft Viva Insights. Yeah. So let's quickly cover what Microsoft Viva Insights are. And basically, as I said earlier in the conversation today, when we first started the presentation, that we have had a global pandemic, we've got a entire country, nationally and internationally, we've got a workforce that is working remotely. We really don't know how well our team members are doing. There is a significant impact to employee health and employee stress levels. The idea was that that we come up with an AI-driven BI-related tool, and Microsoft delivered on that, which is called Viva Insights. It basically creates a personalized and actionable insight into the employee component of things. And then it also quantifies the impact of that work on your people and business. So if you notice things like, hey, during 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock yesterday, I was really not productive, and things like that. So it'll follow your patterns, and it will make sure that that information is delivered to you through your own personalized dashboard. It uses some deep analysis when it comes to some advanced algorithms around AI, and it actually other than just tracking behavior, it tracks over a period of time how your productivity has been, and so forth. It's got a component with workplace analytics and so forth. Now, of course, there were a lot of concerns that if Microsoft builds a dashboard like this, who is going to get exposed to this kind of personalized employee information? There are three different components for this. There is the employee's personal dashboard, which is only visible to the employee. There is the manager's dashboard, which is then available to the management, where the personalized information is deduped. So it is completely it will say that, hey, of 18 members of your team were very engaged in the morning, but were not so engaged in the afternoon, or people are not feeling that great during Thursdays due to XYZ happening, things like that. But it's not going to give personalized information and insights up the chain of command. Finally, there is I'll get into how the all of these, in fact, components get licensed and what is available today and when is it available. And we're going to talk about that during the deployment scenario and so forth. And as I go through this, you'll definitely see that. Vikram, do you want to quickly bring up the demo for Viva Insights, please?
Sure, Akhil. I will bring it up. Give me a moment. Mhm. Give me a moment.
While he's doing that, Sohail, would you mind launching the second polling question for our audience, please? Thank you. This is a very simple question on whether you guys currently, as an organization, have any third-party systems integrated with your Microsoft Teams environment or not. And we would love to know a little bit more about that. And the fact that you all have Microsoft Teams deployed, 94% of the people who joined the call said that they did. And it's important to know if they actually are using it to its fullest capabilities. Great. So it comes to, we had 94% people state that they actually have Microsoft Teams or SharePoint Online deployed, and we had 68% people say that they don't have any customizations. And let me make this very clear, my team isn't allowed to vote on this. So I hope that our guys aren't skewing the results by voting on this. Great. Vikram, I can see you've got your insights working and up, so over to you.
Yeah, sure. So as Akhil just said, to basically work in a remote environment and stay connected with employees. So the employee expectation are today are like basically they want to stay connected with the employee and have a flexible workplace experience. So Viva Insight is actually a blending of My Analytics and Workplace Analytics together into a component which is not now called as Viva Insights. So it will basically keep your employee engaged. Like basically, you can see I can put how am I feeling today, and if I get into the details of this, I can see a reflection history over the past months, like what is. So basically, as you can see, most of the experience is good and all, and mostly it is neutral and all. So you can judge how employees feeling over the multiple period of months.
So I want to
And
make,
also,
hold on a second. I want to make sure everybody understands this. This is the employee's personal dashboard. This is not visible to the management at that granular level. You can set up activities for you based upon what your colleagues are doing. As I said, this is AI driven. You can block time to do things like meditation. You can actually book focus time so that people cannot disturb you. And as he was showing you the BI analytics, go back to that graph, please. The
sure,
reflection history. And if you actually click on the top menu bar where it says stay connected and protect time, it will have a history of all of that as well. So if there are activities and tasks that you need to perform, it will give you that information here as well. Sorry, go ahead.
okay. So what I wanted to cover is it also gives you a chance to praise your colleagues, your managers during their point of time. So actually, if you go and select one of these badges, so it will show like that. I will not do it in the essence of time. So if I, so like it will say, okay, I'm giving thanks to Akhil. Similarly, I'm giving thanks to my colleagues as well. So it shows like these type of topic cards inside your chat to basically the employee doesn't have to go into his email to check this. They can directly check, or you can give anybody the praises also. And Microsoft has basically done collaboration with a company called Headspace. So it's basically employee experience, or you can say employee welfare kind of things, where you can have some mindful exercises, which is sponsored by Headspace. So this is so, and also like the analytics type, it will show you the top actions for the day, and any focus time you can book from here directly. It will show in your calendar. Stay connected, we have already covered. It will show your upcoming meetings and all. And protect time, they basically done what is it's called a virtual commute. So nowadays, like we all are working from home. So virtual commute gives you a chance to unwind your day. So like how it looks is I will show you. Like if I am okay, I have done for the day, it will show any reminders for the next day. I can put it here directly to do, and it will show like what was your focus time. Uh, Also the emotions for the day, how your day went. It was unpleasant or neutral or pleasant, or you are very happy. You can put that, and it shows you the Headspace integrated uh, videos for the unwind of the day. Also, like you can go here and check those. So that's it about the Viva Insights.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. I will take over and move on to our next discussion around Viva Topics. So appreciate that, Vikram. Last but not, well, we have a couple of more topics to go and we're coming up on half an hour. So I'm going to speed this up a little bit here. But we have one more demo to go through, which is for Viva Topics, and I'll cover what Viva Topics is. Essentially, again, the whole concept was bringing the entire employee experience and the entire employee, multiple employee locations into a singular place. The whole concept was that you don't have to have context switching, that Microsoft Teams is going to deliver this capability to end users through a singular location. And in the old days, you would build a knowledge management system in SharePoint, and you still can and you still should and get that integrated through Microsoft Viva Connections. But what Viva Topics is all about is it's a Teams app, and it essentially enables knowledge management and usable knowledge management into a very integrated AI-driven platform in Microsoft Teams for you. All people need to do is organize their topic pages, and we'll show you how one can very easily create that. And then those relevant topic cards with that information are all connected through AI. And when people actually search for certain terms or search for certain content, the relevant content is surfaced up to them. It's really, really smart. It takes time for the AI engine to get smarter as more and more topics and content are added into your organization, and as more and more knowledge management is shared amongst your users. In the for smaller and smaller companies and small organizations, this will probably take a long time to evaluate, to develop. But for larger organizations with content sprawl, where people are not able to find what they're looking for, this is a really powerful tool in helping them replace legacy technologies like wikis and stuff. The other key aspect of this is that the AI engine actually arranges the entire topic pages for you. And I give the example that it's the Wikipedia of the enterprise, where you actually search for a topic and you get content that is delivered for those topics and associated cards. And it gets smarter and smarter over a period of time. We'll show you how it all comes together in the next demo. Vikram, take it away.
Sure, Akhil. So first, I will tell you as a knowledge worker, or how I am seeing the initial page of this. So this is a topic site where I am a knowledge admin, and I can contribute to various topics, as well as I can also pass or fail the AI generated topics. So what you see below is kind of a 4 adaptive cards, which are based on the basically the scroll and all the work which has been going on this site. So basically these 4 topics card, I can put more details on it by clicking it. I can have a specific menu bar where I can basically manage this content. So all the AI driven contents will be shown under suggested one, since I have confirmed or published all of them. So now it's not showing, but over a period of time, it continuously crawls your environment and try to suggest whatever AI based content topics from the tenant. Okay. Now this is a place where I can go and confirm it. These are my published topics, which you saw previously. These 4 are published, and if I thought that particular topic is not relevant, I can make it is on the remove also. So these are all topic cards. If I click here, this will open up, and I can basically during the course of time, I can organize or recreate them as the time publishes. So say, for example, it talks about Power Platform. It also give me who are the knowledge people in the organization you can directly contact without searching anything. So Akil is there, myself is there. So, and we also have files related to that topic and from which sites are it is going to see the site that is also there. Now, from a user perspective, I will show you the use case, how it is useful for a new joinee or a new user. So let me go to my connection site. So suppose I've joined as a new employee and I'm struggling to see like what Microsoft 3 Cloud. There could be many definitions of Microsoft 3 Cloud, which is different for each of the organization. So a normal user will see this highlighted with the underline. Now, when he hovers over this, he can see that topic card. And if you click on details, he will directly know what I meant by Microsoft 3 Cloud. What is the definition or a detailed, what are the knowledge workers who are directly related to it, who I can directly have a conversation and do that. So in the conversation also it will show like underline, and if you hover around it will show the topics, the related files and the sites associated with it. So this is like what all these four topics are. And I just saw you the use case, how to use it.
Thank you, Vikram. The point is that it is AI driven. It will land you onto that AI page. It will give you not only the definition of that topic card, it will also bring together people with the specific topic skills, people who might have authored that, or it will also go in and throughout, based upon role-based permissions, it will also find all the relevant information for that particular topic and bubble it up into a singular location. It is extremely powerful. Think of it as much more than just targeted search. You can actually get a lot of information delivered to you through a single pane of glass, which is again the Microsoft Teams glass. So let's actually go into our last point of discussion. We've got about 6 minutes left and we have a lot of information to cover. I'm going to present again and cover the last part of our presentation today, which has to do specifically with Microsoft Viva Learning. And again, I want to be very clear on what Viva Learning is and what it isn't. Again, it's a Teams app, and it is not expected within your organization to replace any LMSs. It is what it does deliver to you is that it brings all those integrated LMSs into a singular place and delivers those trainings to your employees through Microsoft Teams. And it basically, again, the concern was that you would have all these different workloads and there was no central way of tracking if the people were completing required trainings. If those trainings were actually integrated, people would have single sign-on issues. And all those problems have been resolved with Viva Learning. It has integrations into third-party LMS systems. We don't have the time today to go into it. It allows employees to curate and assign and track learning within an organization, leveraging that third-party LMS. And it also aggregates all the content from various sources. If within your organization you have trainings from multiple different LMS systems, you can bring it together to build a customized course for your employees. Not only does it provide the aggregation of the results set, it also allows managers to be able to track this. Today, Microsoft has got this integrated with LinkedIn Learning, Microsoft Learning, Pluralsight, and a few other content providers. We can provide you the list of that offline, but suffice it to say, it's another Teams app that sits inside Microsoft Teams and eliminates the barrier of people having to context switch to a third-party LMS system, log in and figure out what trainings that they have to take. All of it can be built into Teams and tracked through that. Let's, in the last 5 minutes of our discussion today, let's quickly talk about the availability and pricing of all these greatest and latest tools from Microsoft. We had the overall announcement take place at Ignite this year about the tool. It had been in preview before that and so forth. As I mentioned, the use cases for each of these is described here. So you've got Connections, which brings a centralized communications channel. It's already available in the desktop. In the mobile, it will be coming in the next release, and by fall of 2021, the entire developer preview and the API is also going to be coming. That will allow developers to extend Connections and so forth. The coolest part with Connections is that it's actually free. It might already be enabled on your tenant. You might already have it. And so it's just about contacting us and helping you actually leverage that. The Microsoft Insights is actually available for that personal dashboard that Vikram showed you. That's available for free as well. It has been touted that it will be released in fall of 2021. Again, we are going off of the information that Microsoft has shared with us. It is something that we still need to figure out. But by the end of this year, it certainly will be available. Topics is already there. You already saw some of it. It's that Wikipedia type replacement of your knowledge management system. There is a licensing cost to it in addition to your E3 or E5 or E1 license. It's about $4 per user per month. It's pretty reasonable. And as I said, it's actually really harnesses the power for larger mid-sized to enterprise customers. Viva Learning, which is is again scheduled for a release later this fall. Again, is also $4 per user per month. Insights and Topics will be available, and Learning will be available with any existing M365 subscription. The M3 need not be E3 or E5, whatever it is, you can add on top of it. And again, as a last disclaimer, that this can change as Microsoft evolves. While Connections is available for free, it does require a skill deployment level. So it's not as simple as click and drag and you can just simply turn it on. Of course, it's there. We actually would love to help you with that. And it does deliver your modern SharePoint sites and pages and Yammer through that, as I already discussed. Insights is a very simple deployment. You just have to turn it on. It's available for the personalized employee. The Graph API is already there. Workplace analytics have to be turned on, and so forth. When it comes to the manager piece, it's a little bit more complicated, and we would love to have an offline conversation with you on that. The same thing applies with topics. As you saw, to create a topic, to deploy a topic, to render it correctly and get it configured requires a little bit of skill, but it's not horribly difficult to do. And e-learning is, of course, an integration with third-party learning systems, as we talked about. It is very, very simple to do. It doesn't require a whole lot of learning and training, and we can certainly train you on how to do that. Sahil, at this time, can we please launch the third survey question for our guests, please? Thank you. And if you guys can just quickly respond to that. And I'd love to open it up. As I said, we're 1 minute over, but I'd love to open this up at this point for a discussion. And questions and answers, please. Perfect. So the reason I asked this question was that it's important to know who has what type of licensing. Great. Well, I really appreciate everybody's time today. We would love to stay on board for the next 10-15 minutes to answer any questions. There is an upcoming webinar that we are presenting on sales analytics for Dynamics. It's on our website at cambaycs.com, insights/webinars, and you can go ahead and register for that over there. Let's open the audience up for any questions at this point. The contact information for our company and the VP of Sales is listed out here. We would also, at this point, like to offer for all of you who have dedicated your time today with us. Thank you so much for your time and effort for joining us. And we are offering a free 2 to 4 hour follow-up analysis session and workshop. You can register by clicking on the email address listed up over there. You can reach out to us, or in the meeting chat, you can type your contact information or ask for our contact information if you don't want to share it with everybody else. We'd be happy to reach out to you. For all the people who attended this webinar and those who registered, the webinar recording will be available and will be shared with you. We will also be posting and converting today's webinar into a blog post on our website and other social media aspects, and posting that over there for people to listen to. Sohail, at this point, if you can shoot off a few questions.
Sure.
If the audience has asked any, please, that would be great.
Yes, so we have one question around what is the roadmap for Viva Connections?
As I shared earlier, the different timelines. It's a brand new technology that was Microsoft has released as of this Ignite. We have Viva Connections is already there. Insights is coming in the pipeline. It is going to be the next level investment from Microsoft, and it is going to be the employee experience platform for the future growth of organizations to bring employees together into a singular place in teams. It is expected to evolve. More and more components are expected to be released. I don't know about those, but the 4 that are there today have been released: analytics, topics, and learning. And all of the timelines were already shared. So that slide will be shared with you. You can take a look at that.
Perfect. Thank you, Akhil. The second question we have here from audience is, how is the privacy concern taken care within Viva Insights?
That's a great question. Vikram, why don't you, since you have used Insights a lot, you actually put the whole demo together. Why don't you answer that?
Yeah, sure. So basically in the Insights, we have 2 kinds of insight. One is a employee or a self insight, and one is the manager or a leader kind of a insight. So what happened is, like, employee personal insights are only visible to the individuals, whereas manager and leaders insight are first aggregated and de-identified to basically protect the privacy concerns. So how they will be able to see it, but will not be able to see like who posted what. So that basically takes care of the privacy.
Great. And to add to what Vikram just said, the managers, that information is completely deduped before it is bubbled up into those reports. And understand that is a paid component of Insights versus the free version, which is the personalized work analytics. Next question, please.
Sure. We have this last question. So is Viva open and extendable platform?
Great question. So today, Viva, as I mentioned in my earlier presentation, that there is going to be the Graph API is going to extend and available. There is going to be an API which is going to come in the fall. Certainly, it is an extendable platform. It certainly is going to grow over a period of time, and it will allow for advanced integrations and pulling in and pushing out data from various third-party systems such as Salesforce and other areas. Is it there today? No, but within a year, can you expect it? Absolutely, because that's how Microsoft's other platforms over the years have grown, and that is what can be expected from this one as well.
Sure.
I hope that answers that question, Sohail. At this point, Dave and Sohail, I'd like to hand it back to you. I think we've covered the extent of our presentation, and I answered any questions. Please let us know if there's anything else to follow up on.
Thank you, everyone, for attending our webinar. Like Akil said, we are more than welcome or willing to provide a 2 to 4 hour analysis session to deep dive into your requirements or answer any questions that we haven't answered today. So please reach out to us. We'll send a copy of this web recording to you so you can follow back up and see anything that you might have missed, or if you had any questions. But again, enjoy the rest of your day, and thanks for your time.
Thanks, everyone.